Are you ready to create something amazing? Welcome to Sneller Creative Promotion, custom promotional packaging, and unique marketing materials, making your business memorable. This is Sneller Creative Promotions.
Welcome to Create Something Amazing with Jeff Snell of Sneller Creative Promotions. How are you today, Jeff?
Doing awesome, Brendan.
So new year equals a new bag of tricks for you, I'm sure. You've got a bunch of great new ideas in 2021.
All kinds of things, man. Yeah, we talked last time how strong business was in the fall, and I'm grateful that continued through the holiday season. So always doing tons of logo products, employee gifts, branded merchandise, apparel. I mean, Christmas time, it typically is pretty busy for me with gifts and things like that. And then companies, customers of mine ramping up with new ideas that hit strong in the new year. And fortunate to say that has indeed happened. So yeah, I'm working on 3 super cool projects right now that I'll talk about briefly, and then a million other things that delivered in the fall that we didn't have a chance to talk about. So yeah, I got all kinds of fun things to talk about.
What was the best Christmas gift you did for a company?
Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a hard one because for my customers, everything that they receive is amazing for them. But the one that I like the best, I've got a really cool solution. It's a Missouri company, and I know most of my customers are based outside of the St. Louis area now. But when I can produce something in the state of Missouri, it gives me some feel goods. Feels good. So there's a factory here that makes it does headwear. So baseball hats, knit scarves. The baseball hats are really cool. In fact, I made one for you, I think, with your logo on it on a patch that turned out pretty cool. And the baseball hats are neat, but there's nothing really innovative about a baseball hat. But they have this equipment that allows them to knit logos right into a hat, a hat with a little palm on the top, or a scarf, the logo. And you kind of see it now. I was even looking on, it doesn't matter, on the news, for some things that were going on nationwide where various people in the crowd had these hats. But the logo gets not even embroidered. It's literally knit right into the material. So anyway, it turns out really cool. You can do company logos or camouflage pattern or Sneller Creative Promotions, whatever you want on these hats and scarves. It just turns out really cool and really unique. So that is a solution that I did for a number of customers this year for the holiday season that is still one of my favorite go-tos and still a relatively new technique that most people don't know about. So that turned out cool, but also a lot of cool kits. So we do these kits where maybe it's a duffel bag, and inside the bag is a mask. And we talked about previously, hand sanitizer. Maybe it's got a hoodie in there. It's a whole bunch of different branded logoed items that come in a neat, concise little kit. And then oftentimes I'll then put that in a custom box and really dress it up, or a gift. Present it as a gift in a way that's not just like getting a bunch of junk in the mail. You're really getting that wow moment like we talk about. Right.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to if you can give them something that they cherish as a gift, and it becomes, a wearable billboard or something for another company, but it's a really cool, I love this hat. This hat it's so warm. It's so comfy. I know that it says, Chico's bail bonds on it, but I love it. You know what I mean?
That's terrific, man. Yeah. So the holiday season was strong, but let's talk about these 3 things that I'm working on now. Really neat. So, and they're big name companies. So I'm doing BOSE. BOSE has got a new line of earbuds or fancy headphones, and they need some gift packaging to announce this new product release. So these things are being produced at the moment right now. So this box and most of my boxes are handmade with a magnetic flap, and they're whacked out with printing that would just blow your mind. So beautifully printed with something called spot gloss UV. So it's got kind of a glow and a shine to it. So when you hold it in the light, it kind of reflects in a different way. So, and it's got raised lettering, and it's got a globe and a pattern of the world. It's got all kinds of cool printing. When you open this box, there are lift-out trays that hold various items. So the BOSE product itself is in one of these lift-out trays, and then you pull out more, and there's exercise, there's a gift card, and there's ankle weights. It's kind of a get fit, get ready for the new year kind of theme. So that BOSE thing is going on. I'm also doing a really neat one for EA Sports for FIFA 21 video game for soccer, and it holds custom jerseys. And this box is so pretty. One of the prettiest things I've ever done. It's a purple, a really pretty purple with gold foil everywhere, and it's kind of a step and repeat pattern. And it's also got the spot gloss UV treatment on it, and a metallic. When you open this thing up, it's got two flaps, again, magnetic flaps that open up one way and the other that reveal the jerseys. And inside are a couple of custom jerseys that have got their customers, their end users' names on the back. And these jerseys are not. It's really so completely personalized with personalized letter inside, and a lot of these boxes and kits that I do are for influencers. And we've talked before about the unboxing experience. So it's all about the moment when Brendan receives this thing and opens it up and just blows you away. And again, the jersey is probably is the gift and the call to action, if you will, in this box. But my box, I guarantee you, not only does it cost more than the jersey, but it's way nicer. That's gorgeous. And anyway, that's a really fun one. These big name ones are really fun. But this last one is something that you may remember, and I know my kids know a little bit about, for Nickelodeon. I'm doing a box for Nickelodeon's got a new show, and I think it's kind of a throwback. Maybe you and I even talked about it over the holidays. Are You Afraid of the Dark is the show. And movie, TV show, whatever it is. It's a super cool box. So this box, when you, again, handmade, magnetic flap, when you open this thing up, it's got something that's going to bloom or blossom or pop out at you. In this case, it's a fire. It's a campfire. And I never watched that Are You Afraid of the Dark? But I think there's scary stories told around a campfire is what somebody told me. So anyway, this pop-up campfire blooms. But not only does it do that, because I've done that before, but it's also got a light activated sound chip in it. So when you open this lid, it's going to play spooky music, which is from their theme song. So,
oh, nice.
So, and then inside this box, again, will be various items. I think it is indeed some more, graham crackers and marshmallows and chocolate, which is something I've done before with great success. So those are three things that literally are in production right now that have been fun to carry into the new year. But I've got all kinds of other things we can talk about that I just delivered in the fall too.
I love the whole EA Sports soccer jersey thing. Again, it literally goes back to what I just said. If you can give them something really cool that they want to wear or use on a regular basis, that's great advertisement. And, I'm sure for someone like you, when you see people wearing that stuff or using that stuff, that always, I'm sure, brings a big smile to you.
It really does, yeah. And like I say, all my customers are important to me, but the big names are something that everyone can relate to. So yeah, I really love that. I take great pride in that. And a lot of times these customers come to me via ad agencies, graphic designers, public relations firms. So it may not be that EA Sports is the one originally that contacts me, but my creative community are kind of the ones that funnel them to me. And then I get the best of both worlds. I get to work with the creative community, which has always been my strength, but I also get to work with these big name companies that may or may not have found me on their own. So it's really it's a great partnership and something that I truly enjoy. So some of the other things that I delivered in the fall that turned out really neat. Well, here's one. We talked about and kind of laughed. My family jokes about binders, 3-ring binders, which used to run the world, or at least run my world. I'm doing fewer and fewer of them, but there are times when it is truly the perfect solution for holding, loose materials that you want to update frequently and access, and especially depending on the age of the recipient. Older folks, may not want everything digital. So I do a lot of business with law firms that do estate plan binders, legal binders, financial planning binders. They need something tangible to give to their customers. So you get your will done, your trust and whatever. And how you deliver that? You probably don't give that on a flash drive or a link to a website to an older person. So I'm still fortunate to do a lot of estate planning binders. And these things, again, you think ring binder is ugly, but not when Sneller does it. These binders that I do use these luxurious, beautiful materials that really represent what's inside of it. So if it's, again, my will and trust that I'm giving to my kids, it ought to be delivered in something gorgeous and feel of value. And this thing is, these binders that I'm doing, which I'm fortunate to have repeat several times a year, are this soft blue. It's not leather, but it feels like leather, and they've been debossed, or where the logo and the text is depressed into the material with foil stamping, and they've got metal corners and there's pockets inside them. This binder is really, really beautiful. So anyway, fortunate to be doing those, but also I did a box for Intel, again, another big name company, a series of boxes in the fall, really big mailer boxes in full color on the outside and inside, offset printed, just really, really pretty piece. Also for a local St. Louis alcohol company, a really cool whiskey box. And I've always loved my alcohol companies just because typically the design.
They do cool stuff too.
Yeah, really cool things. And there's usually some neat things inside of it. So this box, which also uses a soft black, what they call a soft touch material, it just feels good. You want to run your fingers over it. Magnetic flat box. You open it up, and inside is the bottle of whiskey and a tumbler or a glass that you would pour the whiskey in, and all the print materials. It's gold foil stamped on the outside and inside, and it's depressed or debossed in the material. Really just a gorgeous piece.
Now, do you ever get the whiskey so you can? Well, I just have to taste the whiskey to make sure that it would look good in the box.
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting how it's funny how much more creative you can get once you start sipping on the product that goes inside this box. Yeah, no, you exposed me to that. What was it? That peanut butter flavored whiskey?
Oh, that peanut butter, yeah, screwball peanut butter whiskey, delicious.
Outstanding. Yeah, I could go for some of that right now.
Yeah, it's a good little sipper, or if you like to have a shot with friends, it's a nice way to celebrate, but very delicious. You don't want too much of it though.
Yeah, no, and I think I only had one shot, but I could have had more. It was really
it's good stuff. So I mean, hey, why don't you get them as a client? And again, any free samples, you're more than welcome to send our way over here.
Totally down with that.
We're always happy to share with our favorite clients here. So,
no doubt.
And you have some other cool things coming up in the near future as well. I know that you've been taking a lot of your podcasts and putting them to video and showing the products that we talk about in the videos as well on YouTube, right?
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that. So YouTube and also Vimeo. So it is fun to take this recording that we're doing today and add my pictures and sometimes videos to that. It definitely creates a strong visual for my customers to see, and I enjoy it as well. So, yep, been doing that for sure. A couple more things that I delivered in the fall that I'm really proud of. One in particular, this is I have a jewelry customer. They market this beautiful jewelry, made in the USA jewelry, and they're out of Chicago. And sometimes I usually forget to ask how people find me, and later on it usually comes to light. In this case, I did business with my customer's father, and she asked her dad, and she lives in Chicago now, but she's like, "Hey, Dad, who do I talk to for this custom packaging?" And he remembered me and mentioned it. So kind of a neat that I've been around long enough that I'm dealing now with second generation. Anyway, but the cool story here is they had been producing their packaging in China, and the quantities are pretty big. It's 2,000 or more boxes, sometimes up to 5,000 boxes. And these boxes, a jewelry box in and of itself is pretty nice, but when you think of a jewelry box, it's still kind of a cheaper paperboard, cardboard, lift-off lid. It's still okay, but they really wanted to jazz this thing up, dress it up. And they did. That the initial order that they placed from China had, again, a magnetic flap, pretty printing on it, a certain custom compartment inside that held their little jewelry box. So again, if you bought a bracelet or a ring or whatever, they come in a little box. It's maybe 4 inches by 4 inches, but they wanted to present these in a larger package, and they were shipping them out UPS. And so think of the UPS box, like their standard box or the first class box in the U.S. post office is maybe 8.5 by 11 by 2, kind of a bigger box. And so they liked filling up that shipping box, and it also just feels so much more substantial. If you're buying an expensive piece of jewelry, they wanted to make it feel better than just their little jewelry box. So anyway, the first order they placed in China, and it was just a nightmare for them. It took forever. The communication's bad. They had environmental concerns. They really, like most people, are conscientious and conscious of doing what's right for the environment. And they said, we want to buy domestic. We want to buy from you, Jeff, in the USA. We know that you can make this thing look way better than what we got from China, but tell me how you would improve this. Like, why does buying American, why is that important? Why should we do that? And I said, well, not only are you supporting my employees here in the United States, again, all the raw materials and everything is produced domestically.